Hi, a review of my Lowa Zephyr boots. So these are the new designs of the Lowa Zephyr, a slight improvement over the old ones. And also this is a color coyote, brown, and a height 8 inches boot. As compared to other 8 inches boot, these are slightly higher or taller. So this is the side profile. Rear profile. Again side profile. And front of the boot. So Lowa, as many of you would already be aware, has been in the footwear industry for many years. They claim that they have been manufacturing boots since 1923, but I'm sure that in that time they have been bought over by somebody else. But yes, the brand name Lowa remains. So the Lowa Zephyr boots came into being, or at least I noticed them first when they came out with the Zephyr design, and was used extensively by many of the militaries out in the field. Also, especially in Afghanistan and other places. And that is why the color of the boots is a coyote, because in the deserts, these are the colors which will be used much more or will blend in much more. So this comes in the coyote, it comes in the black, it comes in the green, it comes in a desert sand also, which is a lighter brown color also. Also, it's got two designs. One is this design, which has got certain amount of synthetic, and it's got another design which is completely leather also. So this is the new design which has come in effect, I think, for less than a year or maybe a year, and the previous designs are being phased out from the market slowly. Coming on to the boot proper, I find that the sole design has changed slightly. However, not that much. It's got lower branding on the sole. It's got somewhat of a heel for you to give grip, or for you to get grip while you're climbing ladders. It's got this rubber outsole which has been fused to the polyurethane midsole. So all this is polyurethane, and all this is a rubber outsole. The rubber outsole, although has got a lug pattern which is spread out, I think this should not be holding on to gravel very easily, because the edges are not sharp. They have an angle to them which is less than 90 degrees. So it should not be holding on to gravel very easily. And also the base of all the lugs is all flat. So this should have decent grip on flat surfaces and indoors also. The front has got additional aggressive lugs, and similarly at the rear also, for braking and this for climbing. Also, the front toe comes really high as it used to previously, but this one seems to be coming slightly further behind, if I'm not mistaken. So there will be no scuffing if this surface comes into contact, or if you use the shoe at this angle with the ground. So there will be no scuffing here. Also, the rest of the boot has got this exoskeleton, which is again polyurethane, which extends from the sole up till the upper, till various heights. The rear in the previous one did not have this blank space. It was also polyurethane, but here they have given this blank space, which is different from which is a slight difference from the previous model. Also, for some reason, it feels that the polyurethane which is coming up, or the midsole which is coming up slightly higher on the upper, also feels, I may not be correct, but it does feel to be thicker than before also. Although there was nothing wrong with the previous model, except that if you do not use those also for long durations, and after about 2 years, then they also start disintegrating. That is a problem with all polyurethane midsole boots. But on the positive side, there is no delamination in these boots, because the fusion is quite strong. Once it is fused with the upper, there is no delamination. The lower does not separate from the upper at all on these boots, which is a good thing. Then all this is leather, and it's decent quality leather which is hydrophobic in nature, as in I've tried putting spray on these, and even the spray which is for maintaining the leather also just beads off, so nothing holds on to these. So they have been treated very well, and the thickness also seems right. Then the inner part is all synthetic. They say that it's there for ventilation to allow it to breathe slightly, but in Gore-Tex boots I fail to understand how it will breathe, because the Gore-Tex lining inside keeps everything out. Although Gore-Tex also says that it allows breathing but keeps the water out, but that really isn't the case. However, these boots aren't Gore-Tex boots. I specifically found them without Gore-Tex, or I was able to find them without Gore-Tex because Gore-Tex gets really warm. Coming on to the other side also you can see it's got these synthetic inlays in between, and so here also where there is going to be flexion they've got synthetic, and this upper part is again leather. This behind is all synthetic, but it does maintain shape and it does give decent amount of support, unlike certain other boots which are very heavy at the base and there is no support in the upper. So which is okay with these boots. These boots are slightly expensive. Are they worth the price? You have to decide for yourself, but you can get much cheaper tactical boots which will last a similar amount of time. So these are quite expensive. That is also possibly because of the fact that these are made in Slovakia. So although Lowa is a German brand, it's got some branding here, it's a German brand, but these are made in Slovakia, and so that is partly the reason why they are so expensive and difficult to come by also, at least here. Coming back to the laces, all these are cloth loops or synthetic cloth loops, but they work fine. And this is a new addition again, these clips again for giving dual tension. So this zone can be tightened up, and then once the loop is clipped on, this will not shift and your tension in this space will remain the same, and then the upper can be kept slightly loose if you're climbing mountains or are doing certain activities where there is more ankle flexion which is required. At the rear, the leather finishes here and the synthetic starts here, and so this also allows for adequate ankle flexion if you're walking up and down slopes. Also, you will find that there is a slope here to keep your heel in place, which should work fine. Again, I'll repeat, because of the exoskeleton of the midsole coming up, there is very little flexion in the boots in the sideways plane. However, it does bend like this. So that is also one of the features. Another improvement that they've done is, earlier the insoles which used to come with these boots were very thin and quite useless, quite frankly. So now the quality of insoles on these has become much better, and they have a layer of EVA foam attached to them, so they are much more comfortable also. Why do I like these boots? I like these boots because unlike other boots, these boots, at least, although they're very expensive and I'm just justifying it, but with these boots I never get any knee pain when I'm wearing these boots, because the soles are very flat and they are slightly on the stiffer side because they're polyurethane, unlike EVA soles which sometimes when they are too soft become slightly unstable, and over long duration wear they give me knee pain. Also, the angle or the heel to toe drop is also very minimal on these boots, which is also a good feature on the boots. Generally, I found that personally for my own consumption, I find boots which have got lesser heel to toe drop. So do I like these boots? Yes, I spent a lot of money on these, so I do like them, and I hope that they give me good service. Thank you.